Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Podcast Paradise reboot, where during this pandemic, we're gonna hopefully try to do this every week until who knows. But with me today, I have the staples of the show. You know them, you love them. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hey guys, Dan Farnworth here. Thank you, Max, for having me on the show as a recurring guest and I guess co-host. Great stuff.
Tentatively assigned to co-host.
Yeah, great stuff.
I'm Jonah. I'll give it my last name too, because Dan did. I'm Jonah O'Neill. I'm recording this right now. We're also streaming live on twitch.tv. Check us out in the description for that. I don't know when we're gonna do this, but we
Hell
might
yeah.
just pop on.
Also, I'm on Push to Talk, so we'll see how that goes. This is the first episode where we've had to do that. Anyway, before we start, I just wanted to say, just as a quick aside, dude, I have really been pounding a lot of bread with butter lately. Like, I
Toasted
know
or
that it's
untoasted?
untoasted. I know that it's like a thing to be like bread and butter is like so ubiquitously liked that it has like its own expression. But I gotta say, I am a huge fan.
What kind of bread?
Um, well, I'm not really a bread expert, but it's not white bread. It's like that stuff that you would buy in like a loaf.
Well, you buy white bread in the loaf.
He's talking.
All
I think I
right,
get what he's
like
talking
those
about.
sticks. Those
Yeah, like a
sticks.
baguette.
Oh, okay. I know what you
Yeah.
mean. It's a cut above. Like it's got like thick crust, I'm assuming.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
like
baguette.
Yeah.
it's it's the bread you would want to be buttered.
Mhm.
All
I
right,
mean,
anyway.
have you been eating that like as a snack or just like throughout your entire day or what?
Just like as a snack.
How many pieces daily are we talking?
I don't know, like three.
That's
How
not the
big are these
best, but that's
pieces?
not that bad, I guess.
Like
I don't know how big the pieces are, Dan. They're just slices of bread with butter.
well,
It's a vertical slice of a baguette.
all right.
Yeah, sure. All right, anyway. I guess we should talk about the virus a little bit.
Yeah.
So the
The
good
elephant in
news
the room.
the good news is the virus numbers are going down for like I don't know how many days in a row it's been now, but we're actually on a pretty steady streak of the cases going down and more people being let free from hospitals than are being taken in. And the projections for total deaths are going down like every week, it feels like. So, I
Mhm.
mean, there's some light at the end of the tunnel, and it might be coming sooner than we thought. So I don't feel so bad about talking about it because we recorded an episode that will never be aired because the recording failed, where I was pretty like anti talking about the virus. But honestly, now that it's better, I feel like what the hell, like it's not really that depressing to me anymore. Now that like shit's actually getting better quicker
Yeah.
than we expected. Um, so I wanted to ask you guys, what are your predictions for when things are going to return to normal?
Um, so I'm gonna say June when social distancing kind of well, I guess self quarantine is no longer necessary and people are just more health conscious now with washing their hands. I think it's gonna be around June. And
All
that might
right,
Um.
sound early, but
Yeah.
I
Jonah.
Um. To be honest, like just for myself, I'm gonna say July because that's when the club that me and Dan work at, that's when it's opening again. So like I feel like they might have some more information, especially when it comes to the old people, because a lot of old people go there. So I think it might be normal for us around June, but I think older people are going to be a little more afraid to sort of do anything until July. And then maybe I think things will be open by June, but I don't think things will be up to like full form until July.
Yeah, like things will be different for us than it will be for at-risk populations.
Yeah, definitely. Which is more like I think to be honest, the second it hits like weather where I can swim, my summer will be normal for me because I'll just be swimming and like even if I can't leave the house, I don't really care, but I'm thinking more for just like the world at large.
See, to
Right.
be honest, I mean, our state, I think, is actually kind of a lot better off than other
Oh,
states.
definitely.
Our neighbors
We haven't had,
especially.
we really haven't had a lot of cases in Rhode Island, and actually, a really large portion of them are at like two old folks' homes.
Mm.
Which is kind of sad to hear about.
Yeah, it is, but we have it a lot better than a lot of other states. I actually am kind of an optimist here. I think
Max?
What?
my finger slipped off the push to talk.
I figured.
Uh,
Um, I'm actually kind of an optimist with this. I don't think they're gonna open everything back up, but I think they're gonna allow us to like not social distance as much in May.
Like, you mean like we can go back to parks and stuff in May?
I think they're gonna be more lenient with parks. I think they're going to like allow us to like be around people, and it's not gonna be frowned upon to hang out with friends
Do you
and
think
go
dining
over.
in will come back?
I think the restaurants are going to be closed for a little longer. I think it'll be mostly takeout.
yeah, because that's
Mhm.
such like a area of like contact. It's really risky there. And
Mhm.
I hope then they still have old people hours at grocery stores and stuff because they really do need the time to do it.
Yeah, totally. But I think things that involve any sort of crowd, I honestly don't think they're really going to be, unless the curve is totally flattened, where it's like we have it essentially contained. Um, I don't think stuff with crowds are going to be open until we have a vaccine.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's until we have a vaccine, but I think once whichever comes first, like a vaccine or like the curve, like you said, the curve is totally flat. But I think things like concerts and maybe nightclubs might be a little fucked over for a
Convention,
while.
major sporting events, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think all that's going to be shut down at least until 2021, I think.
really.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I
Damn.
also don't know if schools are going to open in the fall. I think there'll be some that do open, but I think by and large it's going to be online again.
See, I
Really.
think first of all for gatherings, for giant gatherings, I think that by the fall, like I could see the NFL like pulling a controversial choice and saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll have all our games." And like then some of the other big major sporting companies like follow suit.
See, they can do that though without having fans in the stadium.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
They
they
can
want to sell tickets.
Yeah, that's like the biggest source of income they have for the stadiums.
But
Tickets
like
and
the
merch.
the choice between not having it at all versus having NFL in empty stadiums, or like some people have suggested like quarantining the NBA players on like NBA Island just so they can play their games.
That'd be sick.
I think that's more reasonable. I don't think they're gonna let fans in the stadiums.
You think by fall it's still gonna be this bad?
Yeah, I I think it's at least gonna be a thing because all it takes is for one person to have it in a crowded stadium for this to all start again.
Yeah, true.
Right.
But
So it
I
will be less
I'm
that it's
hoping for a
completely gone.
faster I'm hoping for a faster timeline on a vaccine than you are though. You're probably being more realistic, but I'm still hoping for more.
Everything I've read puts the estimates at a vaccine for like 12 months from now.
I haven't read much, so you obviously know more than me. So I'll defer to you on that. But if
But
schools aren't,
there are some drugs though that have started to gain some traction already.
yeah, which I think will help sort of lighten the tension around it all.
Yeah, but I think best like I really don't think schools are going to be open still in the fall
Dude, I
because
hope not. I hope schools are open.
I really do too, but I just don't. I just think they're going to be scared of one person getting it, and then all of a sudden the whole school has it, and then before long the whole town has it.
I mean, especially where you are, because you're in like the
Yeah,
heart of
totally.
Boston. Like
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
I'm in Cambridge, which isn't as bad, but still, it's a pretty populated area, so I could see them doing that. But God,
What I
Hmm.
I can't
what
do
I
it. I
think
can't stay here and do online classes for another semester.
I think city schools are going to be closed, and schools that aren't in cities will be open.
That's a. I would say that's a fair assumption. I
Honestly, I kind of
I would.
disagree with that because a lot of sort of schools off in not the country, but like think of like Penn State. Penn State is like its own city. Like
That's true.
that would spread so quickly there. Maybe like a Stonehill could open, but I don't think a
Yeah,
Penn State could, or like some other like
small
big
private
school that's
institution
yeah.
can stay
So
open.
maybe Leslie. I don't know, but
See,
I
I
hope
think if the
so.
schools
Max, you got cut off.
I think if a school opens, it's going to be a school that's literally in the middle of nowhere, like UVM.
Like how big is UVM?
I'm not
They're pretty
sure.
big, aren't they?
I'm not sure, but they're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
But I think the big issue would be since they're in the middle of nowhere, you have all these like college kids in the same place, like doing the like passing through the exact same area. I think that might be an issue.
Well, of course it's going to be an issue, but I mean, I don't think most schools are going to be open at all.
All right,
But
so
Yeah.
but if there were, I would say it's the small, secluded schools over the city ones.
Yeah,
the
I agree there, but
undergrad,
I'm just saying large secluded would still have an issue.
the enrollment in University of Vermont is 11,300. That's a lot of people.
It's decent. It's not crazy, but that's
UMass Amherst is way bigger and also in the middle of nowhere.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. We're not fucking virologists, so
Yeah.
but I just hope I have the opportunity to go back to school in the
I
fall.
honestly, I would imagine a lot of people are going to take like gap semesters. Like if it comes down to online versus just wait, what are you going to do? Are you going to do online again or are you just going to wait it out?
I have, I think, around 12 extra credits, so I'll take a gap semester.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of people do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if it
Because
comes to that and I'm not like required to stay in school for like, because I just became a CA at my school, which would give me free room
that's
and
an
board.
RA. An RA
It's
for normal people.
oh, okay. I thought you were correcting me, and I was about to fucking
No,
freak out.
no.
But so I don't know. I'd probably be required to stay at Leslie. Um,
Right.
I'd obviously like to if it opens, but at this point, who knows?
Yeah, I also think because I think we've all realized that the online classes are not going well.
Dude, there's such jokes. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think they should have just I think they should have just like delayed the semester or something instead of done online classes.
No, they can't do that when we're already halfway through a semester. Have people come
yeah,
back to campus for another like half semester. I don't think they could do that.
yeah. I was more than halfway through mine.
Well, I
Yeah.
was gonna say they like tack it on to the next semester, so it's like a semester and a half.
How would that work? You just wouldn't have winter break?
No, you'd come back in all like in early August instead of
That's
late August.
That's so impractical for so many people. Like people who have summer
Like,
jobs with
so
like
is online.
consistency.
Online classes kind of suck though.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but they're not
it keeps the
impractical.
schedule. It keeps the schedule. We would be at if we were not if
I
not
don't
for the
know.
corona stuff, we would be at school right now.
I
So we're
feel like
still
I'm not.
doing what we were doing.
I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth from my college if I'm doing online classes.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
we're 100%
totally.
not.
But it's better than a total like logistical issue, I feel
Yeah,
like.
with like major scheduling conflicts for especially exchange students and people that work like major summer jobs. Like Dan,
Hmm.
if that happened to us, we would barely make any money over the summer.
Yeah, I mean that's true. And I do like I know you didn't like this very much, Jonah. I like the pass fail thing that they're doing with online classes because there are students who struggle online.
I didn't say I didn't like that.
Oh, I thought you said that I guess it was just kind of weird
No, I
that
think
they're
it's
doing it.
great, honestly, because
Yeah.
like if you're struggling with an online class, it's really good, and also it makes it so like none of this stuff affects your GPA. And in my school, they made a program where you can opt in to get a letter grade. So if you are doing good, you can just say, "Hey, I want a letter grade," and then you'll get that added to your GPA. So I think it's a
That
good system.
that is a good system. The way
Yeah,
I thought it was like if you're doing good, you're kind of screwed. But I like that you can opt in for letter grades.
No, you can totally opt in, and like I'm doing it for one of my classes because the professor said I had like a 95, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take that. Like
Yeah.
I'll definitely take that for a letter grade because why not?
selfishly, I think the pass fail might have saved me in one of my classes.
Dude, run with it, take it.
Was that your acting and art class?
No, that was last semester. No.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
the class where with the museum trip, right?
No, this one, like, cause they changed the pass fail like guideline. So like at my school, before you had to get a C to pass a class, and now with pass fail it's a D.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
So I might just be chilling in that
Well,
class.
by D, do they mean 65%?
I'm not sure, but it's below a 70, which cuts me a lot more leeway.
I think for me it's a C minus you need to get, so it's like around 72.
Back at Stonehill, it was a 75, I think.
You have to get a 75.
Yeah, because I remember C minus being considered failing.
Wow,
I
Yeah.
think that's how it was for me, but I think they lowered it with the whole pass fail system now.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Really?
kind of suck, especially when I was like not in the best mental state and I was just like now I have to like work my ass off in these like problem classes just to stay afloat.
Yeah.
How big were your classes at Stonehill?
Like average. They were like they'd range from like small like 10 to 12 to like the largest you'd find is like 25.
Oh, okay, that's like how it is at Leslie.
There weren't any lectures, or if they were like few and far between.
Yeah, same. I could never do a lecture class.
I'm glad
Max, you're
are
gone.
like yeah, I noticed that. I'm glad that both the schools I've been in are like smaller class size. That's really important actually.
Which is interesting because they're large schools, like student count wise, but they have small classes.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
At
feel like
least
that's how it
Hofstra.
is. Like for most like medium-sized schools, once you get past like the intro level classes, I'm pretty sure they're like normal size, like how we're talking.
That yeah, it's at all schools. They always get smaller as you get more
Yeah, because they
specific.
get more particular.
Yeah.
I have a class right now with like 8 kids.
Damn, that's nice.
Those yeah, the
Um,
small classes are nice. I
As
like
long as you're
those.
into it, they're nice. If you're not into it and like you get called on a lot, it's the worst. That's how it is right now. My genetics and ethics.
It's either that they suck or they're like a bonding experience. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking
yeah,
for.
right.
Like you're all in it together.
Also, during the quarantine, I gotta say, I almost totally stopped using Twitter.
Well, because I know
Really?
at first you had some issues with Twitter, right?
Well, I talked about this in a previous episode. I just feel like it's so toxic. Like, it's not a positive experience anymore.
See, I'm pretty good at avoiding that, so I don't really. I really hit it today. I did hit some parts of Twitter that really annoyed me, but usually I only get like the funny ha-has.
The only stuff that annoys me on Twitter is political stuff. Like,
Yeah,
other
but
than that, I follow everything else as like positive.
on my ideal social media though, there would be like good constructive conversation around stuff like that. That would be my ideal world.
Well, Max, don't you go in like the Twitter comments kind of often?
The
I do too.
replies.
Yeah, whatever.
That's
I
like-
use
I
Twitter.
That's
Yeah,
like the
I
best
do.
part of social media is going into the replies.
See, I never go into the replies unless it's something that I'm like, oh, people are gonna be really pissed off about this. I want to see what's up. Like that's
But
where you
yeah,
get the most toxic shit.
because I had so many notifications for my Twitter. Like I had a bunch of accounts that were ticked to give you a notification whenever they tweeted. And I just turned off all my Twitter notifications, and I just have not really had an urge to go.
Hey, good for you, because I know you were kind of a fiend before, so it's probably for the best.
Yeah,
For a
it's really
long time,
positive.
too.
I'm surprised at how easy it's been, honestly.
The entire time I've known you, you've been a Twitter addict.
Yeah.
Hey, it used to be better.
I mean, well, it is better now, so that's what matters, I guess.
Yeah.
I meant
I-
like the site used to be better.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant your addiction.
Yeah, so did I.
No, like 5 years ago, the site was so much better. It was actually fun to use. I don't know exactly what changed. I don't know if it's just that more people have migrated to it, but oh boy, the last 3 years have been tough.
Like, this is a little off topic, but like I have two Twitters. I have one that like I follow like celebrities and people that I like in media on, and then I have one where I follow people that I know. I can't get over like seeing someone tweet something and it's from like 12 hours ago and it has 0 likes, like replies or retweets. Like there's just something about that that's so obscenely funny to me because they'll just be like pouring their heart out onto Twitter and no one will care.
Listen, you can just say you're talking about my account.
I'm actually not. I'm thinking of something very specific, and
I
I'm
know
not
I
talking
know
about
who he's
you.
talking about, and I think that's funny as shit. And I do that sometimes too.
Oh, wait.
I don't think you know who I'm talking about, but you're fine.
Oh, well, I know an example then that we all know.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about like people actually like pouring their feelings out and like being sad and like kind of like treating it like they're talking directly to people but no one responds. Like that's just so funny to me.
Well, I'll drop a like if that happens because I feel bad, like a pity like.
I won't because I usually don't know the person that well and I don't want the only person that like likes their like sad tweet just being some fucker that they like passed in life and don't interact with that much.
I guess I kind of enter the internet as like a barbarian. Like I don't really care about my image so much, like on what I on like on Twitter or Facebook or something. Like I like if I'm gonna say something, I might as well let everyone see it. Or if
See,
I'm gonna
I
like
rarely,
something, I
I
don't
rarely
care.
post my own like thoughts and ideas on Twitter or Instagram. That's just not the way I operate on those sites.
Well,
Well, I gotta-
Instagram especially, you don't post your thoughts on. At least that's what I think.
Well, I just post pictures of you mostly.
Solely
No, there's a picture of Holden and Bennett on it.
in the same post, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, like Twitter is like I haven't been checking Twitter that much either lately, but I never really did. I got into a kick like a couple months ago on Twitter, and I'm kind of fading out of it, and I'm going back onto like Reddit and Instagram more.
For me, like now
Oh,
that
well,
Corona's happening and like Bernie dropped out, my Twitter's just so bad and I can't go on it.
Honestly, Bernie dropping out made me like avoid Twitter a lot because I,
It's
I
just
just
people
knew it would be a
screaming.
lot of toxicity.
toxify it. Um,
Toxifying.
so we wanted to talk about uh, kind of the recent movies that have come out in the last 5 months or so.
Mm. Which one
Um,
do we want to start with,
Some
Max?
big names.
so I kind of think about all four of these movies like kind of in the same category, even though they're all totally different genres, just because they all came out around the same time. And those being Uncut Gems, Lighthouse, Knives Out, and Parasite. And they were all good, actually, which I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised that I liked all four of them as much as I did. Because
Yeah, I
usually,
remember going into Parasite. You were not too excited once you saw the closed captions on
Yeah.
the screen.
all right, well, I didn't realize, I knew it was a foreign film, but I didn't realize that I'd have to read
Me
subtitles.
and Leo were
So
literally talking about how it's like an amazing Korean film and how the dude's name who made it is Bong Joon-ho. Like,
I just assumed it would have been dubbed or something. I,
Dub would
I,
ruin it.
yeah,
I
entirely.
I'm not gonna lie. When I got into the theater and we were separated, I was not sitting next to the people I was seeing it with. So I was just alone between a woman eating an enormous tub of popcorn and a woman behind me who snuck lo mein in. Um, and then
I
Wow.
respect that.
Yeah,
and then
great.
and then I saw the subtitles and I was just like, all right, time to sleep. I'm just I, I'm just totally checked out. But I'm glad, you know what, to the movie's credit, never once during the movie was I like about to fall asleep. Even though I had consciously decided that I was going to sleep. I was pretty much like engrossed in the story from the beginning.
Yeah, the subtitles
Uh,
are so like small of like a hurdle to get over. Like I'm a fucking asshole who watches anime, so I'm used to it, but like you definitely aren't, Max. So I understand why you'd have some aversion at first, but as someone who's experienced it, like subtitles, they're really easy once you start reading them.
Yeah, they were not after a while I totally forgot about them. You're
They're not intrusive at all. I
the
think they
thing
would be,
is,
but
with
they're not.
subtitles is that they grab your attention. So if it's like because you have this necessity, like you rely on these subtitles to pay attention, you're way less likely to check your phone or something.
I mean, I'm just not
Um,
going to check my phone in a theater in general.
but like if
No,
it's
but
a boring movie, I
you are
will.
kind of right about that. It's really hard to space out for even a second in
Yeah,
one of
because
those
you
movies.
have to like put all your attention into the movie, which makes you appreciate it more, I think.
And so I just saw Parasite with my parents like the other day because they got it on and my mom would like checking her phone. Uh, if you're checking your phone, you can't listen to it 'cause you don't understand. Be like, you're missing it, mom. You're missing it. Like every time she'd pick out her phone. It's like I guess that's what I was trying to get to. Is like you can't look away or else you'll miss a part of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it makes it a lot more engrossing, I think.
But also, I was very surprised that out of the four of those movies, I would say Parasite was probably the best, and I did not expect to say that going in.
Yeah, I agree, but I expected that because we watched it after the best picture. If we had watched it before the best picture, I would have thought Uncut Gems would be my favorite, but Parasite definitely was.
But I usually don't like the Oscar movies.
Me neither, but I watch a lot of movie reviews and I've heard so many good things about Parasite and it was hyped up so much for me that I knew it was
It
going to be
was.
like top tier.
I was the same. Like I saw it only because it had so much hype around it. Otherwise, I would have seen it.
It was, I mean, hell, I already had it pirated and I was gonna watch it soon. And then, like, the Best Picture came out and I was like, okay, I really gotta watch this.
It did not disappoint. No.
No.
No, yeah, I would definitely, I would say out of those four movies, that would be the one that I would recommend people to watch most.
Where do
The
you
only
think...
other one I would, the
There
only
you
other
go.
one I would say is I've never, and this is like not unique to me either, because people were saying the same thing when they came out of the theater for this movie. I've never felt the way I felt at the end of the movie as I did at the end of Lighthouse.
Okay, I was about to ask you about Lighthouse because I haven't seen, out of these four, that's the only one I haven't seen, and I really want to.
And for
Is
So,
me,
it,
I haven't seen
where do you
Lighthouse.
think it lies amongst your four?
so here's the thing about Lighthouse, though, and this is the mistake that, I mean, it's very easy to make this mistake, and it's why it felt so strange coming out of it, because nobody knew to do it. Everybody made this mistake, but in watching it after, or in doing research on it after, turns out the director of Lighthouse, I don't remember his name, but he is very into like religion, sort of, and like religion stories. So I would say in order to not be totally fucking confused, which is what happened to me and everyone else in the theater when we came out of that movie, it was like we all knew it was good on like an instinctual level, but we were all confused as fuck by it.
That kind of sounds
And
appealing, honestly.
I would
Yeah, it does.
seriously go like you're gonna. I mean, I guess if you want to be confused as fuck, you can do what we did and go in without preparing. But I would say, like, not. I'm gonna try not to spoil it, but I would say brush up on Greek mythology before you watch it, if you
Oh,
don't want to
okay.
be totally confused.
Now,
I
I've
kind of
read
want to be
Percy Jackson.
confused.
Okay. So I'm
Um,
practically an expert.
See, I read Percy Jackson too, and I was fucking confused.
That sounds
Well,
The
good
right.
though.
tale,
I want to be confused. I love being confused by movies.
the tale that the movie was like somewhat revolved around was not, I don't think, ever mentioned in Percy Jackson, to my memory.
Is
It
it one of
doesn't
like the
involve
less
any.
referenced ones?
It doesn't involve any of the 12 Olympians, but it's not a super unreferenced story. I don't want to give away exactly which one it is.
Okay, yeah,
It's
that's fair.
it's one where if I said the name of it, you would at least know of it and probably the basic premise. Um,
What is it?
I just said I don't want to give it
I,
away.
well, I feel like basic premise isn't like a spoiler unless it
I mean,
really
it might
is.
be because
Yeah,
I
but
bet
see,
once you like know about it, you're gonna watch the movie differently, which I don't want to do.
totally. Because
True,
one of
true.
the cool thing about that movie is that it was really ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean, this just makes me want to watch it more because like
Yeah.
movies making me I kind of don't like it when I understand movies like entirely. I want to be like 70%. I want to know 70% or 80% of what's happening and then have like 30 or 20% just like confusion. Honestly.
That's
Well, that's
that's exactly how I felt coming out of
That's
Lighthouse.
exactly what I
Was
want, dude. That sounds
was
perfect.
yeah.
was 30% confused.
I think a great quality of a movie is one that like when you get home, you just want to like do like go online and like look up stuff from the movie.
Like you know all
Like,
those fucking
wow.
like ending explained movies? Like I want to watch a movie
Yeah.
Yes.
that actually kind of needs one of those.
Yeah.
Um, Lighthouse definitely does. You could probably write like a thesis paper trying to break down the ending and the
Damn, I'm
movie as a
excited.
whole. But I will say this: there is kind of a lot like the subtitles in Parasite. There is kind of a hurdle with that movie that took me a good probably 10 to 15 minutes to adjust to.
Isn't it in one by one?
What?
Isn't it like a one by one aspect ratio?
I I'm not a camera guy. I don't know what that means. And
It's
that
a
was
square.
not.
It's a square instead of a rectangle.
Oh, yes, it is a square, I think.
Really?
But the thing that was hard to adjust to is so the whole movie is basically two actors. It's pretty much only Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no other side characters. And the whole movie, they speak in like 1800 sailor vernacular.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be like a New England lighthouse? So it's like old New England speak.
It was the first 10 to 15 minutes, I had barely any idea what the fuck they were saying. Because it's that combined with the accent that they speak in. I was like, oh my god, this is totally going over my head.
That sounds perfect. I'm already in love with this movie.
But after I got into the rhythm of it, it was definitely doable. But yeah, no, the movie was really cool, and I'd probably place it second.
Really?
Parasite.
You'd place it above Uncut Gems?
Honestly, it might even be tied with Parasite. It was really good.
That's really exciting, honestly.
Yeah, now I need to give this a watch. Hearing Max's raving reviews.
Yeah, it was completely fucking confusing coming out of it. But once I will say it was kind of cool being totally confused and then looking stuff up about it after and figuring some of it out.
Yeah, that sounds nice, honestly.
That click that you get, like, oh, that's why. Like,
but the thing that's amazing is it's not even a click because the movie is still so ambiguous.
It's like up to your interpretation.
Yeah, totally.
Damn,
I do like
it.
Because the premise of the movie is about Robert. This isn't a spoiler, but it's about Robert Pattinson is like a new. He's like, so William Dafoe is like the old guy who's been working the lighthouse for years. And Robert Pattinson is like the new sailor who like comes along to be his like apprentice. And it's just like them two alone in the lighthouse. And you just like, you don't really know what's going on because you don't really know who to trust between the two of them. And you don't even really know if what you're seeing is real.
Oh, this sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I haven't really heard much about this movie, which kind of surprises me.
Because, you know what? It's because it was the only one of those three that didn't get any Oscar buzz at all. And it's because Oscars never touch horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it seems a little too, like, kind of, like, not user-friendly. Almost.
Oh, totally.
It seems too artsy for the Oscars.
Because war movies, I feel like they always crowd to.
Yup.
Well, yeah, that's easy to digest.
But there's like gore and explosions and stuff in those.
Yeah, but you don't think. It's not about like what's like appropriate to see. It's about what's easy to see. Like that's why a lot of artful movies don't get Oscar buzz.
I would also say the thing about Lighthouse is I'm not surprised that it's not an Oscar movie at all because it's too weird even beyond the fact that it's a horror movie. It's too weird to be an Oscar movie.
Yeah.
Like the whole concept where
by looking.
Again, it's pretty much only two actors in the whole thing. And like when I remember because I saw the trailer on YouTube and that was it before I saw the movie. And the person I was seeing it with was like, oh man, we gotta see this movie. We gotta see it. Like, you wanna come see Lighthouse with me this week? We gotta fucking see it, man. This movie's gonna be killer. And then on the way to the theater, I was like, so what's this movie like about? And he's like, dude, I have no fucking idea.
Oh, that's great.
Like
that's
everyone
just
into
Parasite, honestly.
Everyone just like intrinsically wanted to see that movie, but had no idea what it was gonna be about.
That's exactly what Parasite was for me.
Yeah, same. All I knew is that it was about like classism.
But if you were to ask me which one I would rewatch, like which one, like say a year goes by, and you're like, oh, which one of these movies are you most likely to rewatch? I would probably say either Lighthouse or Knives Out, personally.
Yeah, I think Knives Out, honestly, out of these four, Knives Out kind of like spurs the least like excitement in me, but it was still a really good movie, and it's definitely one that like warrants a rewatch because I mean it's a mystery film. Those are like perfect to rewatch after you know the solution.
I'm a total mystery fan though. That's like that might have been the movie I had the most fun in the theater watching out of these four.
Okay, I have a question. When you watch mysteries, do you actively try and solve them, or are you just along for the ride?
I'm just along for the ride usually.
Okay, that's how I am too, which I think is the better way to watch a mystery movie. I don't like it when
It's not like
people.
I'm actively like not trying to solve it, but I'm not one of those people who's constantly trying to outsmart the movie.
And like
Yeah,
keeping tabs and everything.
I don't
Yeah.
like that. Like I forget what it was, fuck. But I remember watching a movie with someone and they were just like being like, "Oh, I bet that's gonna come back later." Like, "Oh, I bet he did this." I bet, and I'm like, first off, no talking in the movie, please. Second off, just let me experience this. I want to like feel the emotions that always come along with the detective revealing who done it mystery. Like, don't ruin it
It's
for
just
me.
it's people trying to like show off that they're smarter than the movie.
It's like,
Um,
why do you
I,
need
I
to do
would
that?
I would disagree with that. I think for a lot of people they do it, but I think it's also more just curiosity. Like people just want to be able to like I guess live in the show, you know, and like
No,
act
but
like they're one of the detectives.
there are some people who are so fucking annoying about it, and it's like they're trying to outsmart the movie. Like
Hmm.
they're not trying to go along with the detective. They're trying to solve the ending in like the first 5 minutes.
So like they're like, oh, I don't get a good vibe from this guy, but this one he seems like a red herring, so I'm gonna go with this one. Like that.
It's just constant, and they're always like shouting it out to like make sure you know that they knew all along, even though they always end up being wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
I'd hope
because
that's
well,
not in
the
the
thing is,
theater.
the way that they do it is they call literally every single possible solution. So at the
Yup.
end, they can be like, "I called it. You remember I said that, right?" It's like, yeah, you said everything else. You were right, like 10% of the way. Congratulations.
Yeah, I know multiple people in my life who do that, and it drives me fucking insane.
See, I do that, but I keep it to myself. Like I say it in my head. Like I don't. I just try. I like try to. I want to. I want the satisfaction of like solving it, but I don't want other people. Like I don't. I don't feel the need to rub it in other people's faces. I guess.
See, I actually thought I had Knives Out figured out, like a movie. I
Hmm.
was wrong, obviously, but
Yeah,
I
they
actually thought I
really
had done
turned
it.
that one around.
There was a
Yeah.
twist.
There was like many.
Hmm.
But yeah, when I first saw, to kind of bring it to the to the last movie of the group, when I first saw Uncut Gems, or especially when I saw the trailers for it, I was like, oh, this is easily gonna be like my favorite of the four. Like this movie looks like it's made for somebody like me.
Which it kind of was.
Yeah, it's
But
like
but it
2012
honestly
basketball.
ended up being my least favorite probably.
Of the four, really?
Yeah, I think I would say so.
Damn.
I mean,
See,
I
for
liked
me,
it.
it's like a
It
pretty
was
decent bit
good.
above Knives Out.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm just a huge whodunit fan.
Yeah, and honestly, I think like me and Max, we actually watched Uncut Gems a second time. I think that kind of ruined it for me a little bit.
Totally. 1,000,000%.
It didn't ruin it for me as much as it did for you, but like it, the feelings that that movie gave me the first time we watched it together
Hmm.
was absolutely insane. And there's no movie that has made me feel that like viscerally like stressed out before.
Yeah, and like overwhelmed.
Rarely, and I don't think I've ever felt like that stressed out like in the natural world before, really too.
The
Like
whole
that that was a continuous panic attack.
Yeah, the whole appeal of Uncut Gems is that you're in uncharted waters the entire movie, where you just don't know what's gonna happen next. Everything is so like risky. Like
Yeah.
it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and I can see why it's kind of sucked the second time you see it, because you know what's gonna happen.
But there
Right.
was there was some
The
good
whole thing.
foreshadowing, but like aside from that, it lost a lot of the appeal.
It's because the whole thing was like, it's like you feel like everything is like
The
being
risk is
held.
gone.
It's like you feel like everything is being held up with scotch tape, and just like one wrong move can just knock his whole life down. And you don't get that feeling the second time because you know every twist and turn.
Yeah, you know how it ends. You know what works out, what doesn't. Like it's like
I
it ruins the
I
tension. But that's not
I
the
also
movie's
really
fault.
I like the cinematography in that movie. I liked all the angles they did, like especially like the jewel shot with the lighting. I liked all that
The
stuff.
music was so good.
Yes,
The
the music was
great.
great.
Thrilling music.
I also loved how they made it. Like the movie really did look like it came straight out of 2012.
It was
They
perfect. It
did
really
it.
was.
They did a really good job, like setting like the decor.
Yeah, and like
Also,
the Furby.
Kevin,
Oh my god.
Kevin Garnett did a good job.
Yeah, he was so good.
I'm
Yeah.
so
Like
I'm so surprised.
he was like an actual actor. Like he didn't it felt like someone playing KG, not actually Kevin Garnett in the movie.
Right, and it's so funny because he on it, like if he were in that situation in real life, it would probably be less believable than what he did it in the movie. Because KG is kind of like off his rocker a little bit. So like he was totally like a believable real human in that movie, which honestly makes me like respect the performance more because he almost wasn't really playing himself even. Like he was playing like a character.
Damn. That's pretty cool.
I liked it a lot. Yeah, I thought he did a great job. And yeah, it's good to see that like people are starting to learn that Adam Sandler, when he wants to, can be a good actor.
I mean, you guys know this. I used to fucking hate Adam Sandler with a burning passion. Like, there's, I've heard the Hanukkah song way too many times coming from a Jewish house. Like,
Not
it's
too
bad. But, like, this movie made me respect him so much. Like, I think he's kind of an ass because, like, he does so many shit movies just for money, but, like, this movie really makes me respect him as an actor. Max,
I've
are
told
you
you
like
that.
shaking your mic or something? It's getting a lot of feedback on your end.
All right, I'll try to not do whatever's causing that. Um, did I tell you about the story about why he makes those bad movies?
I don't think so.
Well, like years and years ago, someone who had worked with Adam Sandler like replied to a movie critic who was making fun of Adam Sandler's movies, and he like came out in defense of Adam Sandler and was like, he's the nicest guy. He's really funny. He's really talented. He just shows all his movies to these focus groups,
Oh
and he
yes, you
just
did tell me this.
and he just goes along with whatever they tell him. And they're like, Adam, you gotta stop. Like you gotta like have your own creative spin. You can't just appeal to like this like layman's audience. And he's like, but that's what the people want. I gotta like give it to them. And he just
They
doesn't
want Jack and
understand
Jill. They
that.
want grown-ups too.
Right.
Pixels.
He just doesn't understand that disconnect that exists between like giving the people what they want, but also kind of like it's like you when you make a movie. I'm a strong believer that when you make movies like that, you have to almost think of it as like the average person kind of wants candy, but you have to be the person who gives them medicine, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it's you have to like your idea and then hope that other people do as well. You don't take ideas that other people like and make it something. You have to have your own idea and then hope others grab onto it like because you make it appealing. Because I think almost anything can work as a movie. It's all about like how it's shown and shot and presented and acted. Like that's what makes it really.
Hmm.
But like this cookie cutter Jack and Jill shit is just there's nothing you can do to dress up Jack and
It's
Jill and make it
garbage.
good.
It's it's the same as what DreamWorks does, where they just pump out these like kind of shitty animated movies, but like because they're animated, everyone flocks to them.
Yeah, it's more like Illumination, honestly. Those bastards.
Illuminations, yeah. Well, they had. I don't know. I'm thinking of Blue Skies. Illumination kind of sucks.
Yeah, Illumination's awful.
Yeah. Blue Skies is the one that's kind of like a hidden gem. I like that one.
Um, I everyone always makes fun of Pixels and Jack and Jill. Like those are like the go-to Adam Sandler movies to like shit on.
Hmm.
Dude,
And Grown Ups too.
dude, Waterboy is so much worse.
I've never seen Waterboy, and I never will.
It took me years to finally see it. I was legitimately blown away by how bad it was. Like that is literally the movie that they're making fun of in Tropic Thunder when they say don't go full retard. It's that bad.
I gotta see Tropic Thunder, man. I gotta put that on my quarantine list.
It's good. I would recommend
Yeah.
it.
I just want to see Robert Downey Jr. Honestly.
Oh, just him not doing anything specific.
Oh yeah, him in blackface.
I will say, I don't want to spoil what he does in that movie, but to me, Jonah, have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
I'll say the funniest character in that movie is the guy that Tom Cruise plays.
Really?
Isn't
Yeah.
Is he intentionally funny, or is he just being Tom Cruise?
No, Tom Cruise is hilarious in that movie.
Okay.
He's like kind of a side character though.
Is
isn't
Vince
Ben
Vaughn
Stiller
on
in
that?
it too?
No, it's Ben Stiller, Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., and Jack Black as like the main guys.
Oh.
What is?
And there's a lesser known like out of the main like group is Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, and then there's one other guy who's not really well known and I don't know his name.
What a stock cast. Like that's great.
Yeah, and also the Ben Stiller's agent in that movie is definitely played by somebody famous. I just can't place my finger on who it is. But yeah, no, I would highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, so wait, Jonah, which out of the 4 movies we were talking about, which of the ones haven't you seen?
Just Lighthouse. I've seen everything else.
Okay, so how would you kind of stack up the other 3?
For me, Parasite is definitely number 1. Even if I didn't see Uncut Gems again, I think Parasite would be number 1. That was that was beautiful, dude.
It was honestly flawless. I can't think of one thing wrong with it.
I'm not gonna say it's flawless but I can't think of any flaws. But I don't want to say it's flawless because that's just
From my
a big
perspective,
statement.
it was flawless.
Well,
Nothing
the
I could
thing
find,
is
at
like
least.
there are no like obvious demerits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
there's just
but
so
it's
many
not
things that come
flawless.
together well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in Uncut
right.
Gems, I could like maybe pick out like I can nitpick slightly.
I
I
can't
can't
really
really
do that,
in
honestly.
Parasite.
I can't really do that in Uncut Gems is so good. And then
Well, also, some of the gambling stuff is unrealistic.
okay, I know nothing about gambling, so that doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Like for me, Uncut Gems was such a foreign world that I was stepping into. Like I know nothing about sports and I know nothing about gambling, so like it was really interesting to me. And then
Mhm.
like when I was in Knives Out, I was loving it, but like once I left, it kind of lost its luster for me. I don't know why. It's still really good, but like being in it was so much fun, but then afterwards it didn't really stick with me as much as the other movies did. So that's my number
Mhm.
3. And then I'm definitely gonna I think I might already have The Lighthouse downloaded. I don't remember. But I'm definitely gonna watch that soon.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Robert Pattinson or William Dafoe who said it, but one of them in an interview was like, "Yeah, I had a fucking ball making that movie. Like that was one of the most fun roles I've ever played."
Yeah, it looks so different, and it looks like so much confusion that I'm really ready to watch it. It's like that and the movie Mandy are like the two movies that I need to watch really soon.
So Dan, which ones have you seen? Just Parasite and Uncut Gems, right?
Correct.
And you would say Parasite over Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I would. And see, I probably had a better viewing experience for Uncut Gems because I saw it with a couple friends. But I'd say looking at it like looking at it now, I'd say Parasite was like way better. I mean, and by way better, I mean like wicked good and then very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely say that Parasite was kind of a tier above for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a double
Um,
S, and then the others are like
I'd say it's
S
like
or
a half
A.
a tier.
I
Half a
would
tier.
I would also say that the people on Twitter who were talking about this is one of the reasons I didn't totally want to see Parasite was because the people on Twitter were so fucking annoying about it before like I knew it was actually good. They made me not want to see it because they were like, "Oh, this movie, it's such like," and they got the message completely wrong. A lot of them they were
Yeah,
using it.
I remember talking about this. The way that other people interpret it is so strange to me.
What
Yeah,
is it?
they interpret it as like, oh yeah, hell yeah, the poor people are so great. Fuck the rich.
No,
And it's
it
like,
first of all,
Everyone's an
examine
asshole.
flaws in both of them. Yeah.
And like the rich people aren't like typical rich people in media. Like they're not evil. They're not out to get people. Like they're just stupid and ignorant and like spoiled.
To be
Like
honest, they're a nice family. They're just oblivious.
yeah, exactly. And like the poor people are like awful because they have to be. And that's the only way
And
they can get by. And it's such a good
well,
like view of like our class system. And I think it's
the thing
great.
for me is the poor people. Like, I was rooting for them until they found themselves in the power position and started abusing it. That was where I thought the movie really
all
like
right.
came together
So
for
the
me.
tipping point of the movie, I won't spoil anything, but the tipping point is when I changed teams.
I see. I changed teams, but I didn't go onto any other team. I was just like, I don't know who is doing what.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The party
I
scene
didn't.
is when I changed team.
You changed that late?
That's late.
Yeah, because I was like rooting for them. I was like, hell yeah, they infiltrated it fully. But then when they were like taking advantage
Hey,
of
don't
it,
spoil. Don't spoil. Don't spoil.
yeah, all right, yeah.
But that is late. Like, I think
That's like the end of the movie.
yeah.
No, not. I'm thinking of a different. No, not
Are you thinking about the scene when
the
the
family
woman
get
came
together.
back? Okay,
What-
when
no,
Moon came back.
Yeah. Just
Wait, what
before
family
that,
get together?
when
They
they're
get together in the house with
in the house
poor
at the
family.
table when it's raining.
Oh, like when the parents fuck?
No,
Before
when Moon
that.
comes back.
Before they come back.
When the maid comes back, Max.
Yes.
Oh.
That is my tipping point.
Yeah, that is the tipping
Oh.
point of the movie, really.
Yeah, totally.
The big
But
tipping point.
I didn't
think
go
it's been exactly halfway too.
Yeah, I actually I remember seeing that it's like kind of like right halfway through the movie, but I didn't go from like the poor family side like to the parks. I stopped rooting for everyone. I was just like, I want to see where this goes.
Yeah,
I kind of started rooting for the maid.
I never rooted for the maid. I thought she was a piece of shit.
I mean, she's not really that awful of a person.
I mean, they all are, first of all.
She's not that bad.
Yeah, she was definitely the most defensible character.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, all right. She was in a situation that was I could be a little more empathetic
Because
to.
it's almost like she did what the poor family did, but didn't abuse it.
Yeah, true.
And for me, the total turning point was when the main family started to turn on the maid's family because they like didn't want them blowing up their spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, That's a little spoily, but not too much. But we'll back
We've
off from
already
here.
this movie we've already spoiled a little bit. Like,
Yeah, not that bad
Luckily,
though.
we've avoided. Yeah, we've avoided most of the big stuff though, and that's fine.
yeah, we
Whatever.
haven't spoiled the end.
Hmm
Yeah, which was cool.
Or much of the middle. We haven't really.
Yeah. And also the movie was like kind of funny too.
It really
Yeah, there was
was.
some humor. Yeah.
But also, like, some of the humor came back as something serious. Like, this isn't really
Mhm.
spoilers, but like the smell. Like
Yeah,
that was
right.
something that was
Yeah.
funny at first, but then it was like a really big tipping point for one of the characters. Like, I thought that was really cool. I really liked
To
that.
be honest, I thought the smell was funny, but even once they mentioned the smell, I knew like I felt the tension.
Yeah, because you could see it on his face. It was great.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
to us, it was
It
kind of
was
funny
funny.
because it wasn't
Yeah.
as serious as than it was later on. But it was really good the way they incorporated that.
But I guess kind of wrapping this up with Parasite, I thought it was an astounding movie. One that I might honestly want to get a physical copy of because it's got good rewatchability.
Yeah, that's definitely one that I would like to rewatch. I can't imagine that ruining it.
Yeah, I've seen it twice and it was great the second time.
You saw it twice?
Yeah, I saw it with my parents a couple days ago.
Oh, I thought that was the
What?
first time you saw it.
Yeah, me too.
No, the first time I saw it was in theaters,
Oh, really?
but not when it came out back in February. I saw it with
Okay.
my dad, and then we
Oh,
showed it to
okay.
my mom the other day.
We saw it on the like literally the night it won, right?
I think it was, um,
It was
like
either the night it won or the day after.
I think it was the day after because we saw it on a Tuesday night and it was absolutely filled.
Yeah, totally.
Like we barely
Uncut
got
Gems.
tickets.
We saw Uncut Gems early, but that was totally filled up too.
Yeah, and that was in a much less populated area too. That was in Dartmouth that we saw that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uncut Gems had a lot more hype surrounding it when it came out.
totally.
Yeah, but then the Oscar really propelled Parasite.
Yeah.
Kind of wish I saw it before the Oscar so I could be one of those assholes that was like, "Oh, I saw this movie before all of you people."
I wouldn't be surprised if they did better business after the Oscars than when they released the movie.
Oh, they definitely did. Like the way that
Yeah.
movie was like hyped up and also hated on by those assholes. They're like, American movie should have won. Like
1917, the war movie.
Oh my
Should've won.
god.
that video is so beautiful. It already won Best Foreign Film. How can it win Best Film? Like, okay, so Best Sound.
Also,
That's like saying, dude, okay, Best Sound Mixing can't win Best Film. Like,
so I saw 1917, and it was a good movie. But it was Parasite was way better. All right.
it doesn't seem as
Well,
artful.
to me,
Yeah.
1917 just seems like one of those movies. It's like put on Earth.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those movies that was like designed specifically to win the Oscar.
Yeah, it is kind of Oscar
that
bait,
it didn't.
especially like with the cinematography and how they like simulate. They tried to simulate that it was all one shot and like the
Yes.
giant set pieces and all like the
Yeah.
props. Like it's total Oscar bait.
That does make sense. It's like one giant scheme is like, oh well, we gotta win an Oscar this year, so let's make a war movie. Let's make it a big budget. Let's have tons of special effects. Let's win this thing.
And let's
Like-
make it so that all the film nerds are going to be like, oh my god, did you see that camera style? Oh.
And I guess it's everyone likes to root for an underdog, and Parasite was an underdog, so it's good to see that win.
I think it's
Yeah.
just nice to see foreign film recognized like that. It's really cool.
It's nice to see a good film win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice that the obvious Oscar bait lost.
Yeah.
All right. So we have another segment planned where, just for fun, we're gonna read down some posts that I selected earlier from the "Am I the Asshole" subreddit. The only problem is, in order to do this, I'm gonna have to turn off touch to speak so I can read and look at it at the same time.
Well, why don't
Do
you
you wanna
send
just
it
send
to
them
the
to me?
Discord chat? Yeah.
All right, yeah, and one of you guys can read it. So give me a
Yeah.
sec.
I'll
Try
read it.
to give us some artful conversation while I do that.
All right,
All right.
Dan. So last time we talked, I talked about if you were a furry, what animal would you be?
hmm
Do you have anything to add on that or to tell people about?
All right. So just to get this straight away, I was looking at this from the perspective of if I was a furry.
Yeah, that's what
So
the
I'm
question
not.
is.
Yeah, but assuming that if I'm furry, I would have the furry kink.
Yeah.
And the way I see it is that wolves and other canids, like foxes and stuff, are by far the most common fursonas in the furry community. So I chose a wolf. I think a wolf would get me the most tail because I think that's what I'm going for if I'm a furry.
So this is
Um,
purely from like an efficiency standpoint.
a sexual efficiency standpoint, and if I was just doing a furry for fun and not for sex, obviously I'd pick something cool and not
Okay, well
something sexy.
what's okay, so your efficiency furry is a wolf. What's your other furry?
So if my efficiency furry is a wolf, I'd have to say that's tough. I'd have to say my sort of cool furry would be a snow leopard. I think snow
Snow
leopards are
leopard,
pretty
okay.
cool.
See, I feel
After
like
rating the Asian continent, I think snow leopard might be my favorite big cat after jaguar, and I think it would make an awesome fursona.
but you don't think like the uniqueness would provide some attraction from the efficiency standpoint? Because like wolves are
Oh,
everywhere, I bet.
probably, but I just turn them down.
Wait,
You
what?
know. Well, what I'm assuming you're saying is I'm going to get unwanted attention anyway
No, I'm saying
if
as
I'm
a
doing this.
wolf, you wouldn't like wolves are kind of run of the mill, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess that's true. It depends on how I make the costume, right? So if I can make the snow leopard to be over sexualized, maybe more people will come in.
Well, yeah, that's what you do with everything, isn't it?
No, when you look at the furry suits, they're not really sexualized.
Well, not from our perspective because we're not furries, but from their perspective, they are.
hmm
Like I'm sure when they craft their suit, they put like the most appealing things to a furry like in the forefront.
I
It's
mean,
not something we can identify, but it's something that I think they can identify.
I guess I'm obviously not a furry expert. I don't think you are either. At least that's what I'm assuming.
They
Um,
don't assume too much.
but I think there's a reason why everyone dresses as the wolf, and I still think that has maximum sex efficiency if you're a furry.
All right, I'll take that.
Well, that was
Over
actually
snow
that went a
leopard.
lot better than I expected. That was that was pretty funny. But yeah, so I sent a bunch of posts into the Discord chat if one of you wants to take over reading duty.
um, I can do it. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I don't want to mess with the framing that we have right now on the
So
Discord
All
because
right.
it's
we're
pretty
starting with
good.
the top one.
Yeah.
Actually, Dan, do you want to read one and then I'll read the next?
All right. Do you want to start with this one and I'll read the next one?
All right, so the top one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. Okay, am I the asshole for inappropriately replying after two girls made fun of my skin color? Um, Edit. Yeah, I'm out. The amount of racist comments and PMs I'm getting for expressing hate against black foreigners is mad, unreal. I'm just gonna
Reddit.
Keep
skip.
in mind that these are curated by me.
Yeah,
These are ones that I read the title and thought they were hilarious.
and also this one was like tagged, not the asshole. So keep that in
All
mind.
right.
So I, 16M, was out with my friend, 17 female, at the park and saw these two girls, I'm guessing around the same age as us. They saw me. And they were chatting about us in Turkish, talking about how foreigners keep on entering their country, trying to guess where we're from, and just basically gossiping about me in particular. I didn't mind and did my best to ignore them until one of them yelled, "Hey, chocolate boy," at me in reference to my skin color. I'm black. They didn't know that I knew Turkish. I lived there for 2 years now, and I took my opportunity to make a cheeky joke. I smiled and casually replied, You like chocolate, huh? Want to try some? And I gave them a wink. They were surprised when I understood them, but their expression quickly changed to disgust at my comment. My friend, who doesn't know as much the language that I do, asked what I said to them. She called me immature for doing it and said that it was unwarranted and inappropriate. In my opinion, I don't think I messed up that bad. They were being racist, and I decided to make a joke out of it. But now that I got the story off my chest, I want to see if I'm the asshole.
So I had my mic muted. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
I
that
laughed
was
so
great.
hard reading that.
First of all, his response was great. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
there
first
was-
off, get it out of the way, not the asshole.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
No.
literally the only reason I put that in is just so we could laugh at that. I thought that was so funny.
These Turkish guys sound like dicks.
Girls, they were women. That was the whole thing, that it was
well,
like inappropriate towards women, but they were also
Yeah.
racist. So, and
Yeah.
also that comment, if someone says something to you and you respond with that, like from something racist to something like that, that's such like a de-escalation. Like that is not as bad as you can go. Like totally not the asshole in that situation.
You could have
And that's
like
just such
pegged
a
them
great
off or
line.
something.
Yeah.
You could have cussed them out, but you did that, which is great.
Yeah,
You
that
didn't
was
stoop down to their level.
a really good line to think of in the moment too.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a big fan.
Not only are they not the asshole, they are such a respectable individual. Big fan.
All right, next meme, to quote Ben Shapiro.
Isn't that a PewDiePie
All right.
thing?
Yeah, but there's one where Ben Shapiro does it, and I find that really funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it as a Ben Shapiro thing too. That makes it better. All right, Dan.
All right.
Hit us with it.
I can't. It's been removed by the mods, so we're gonna have to move to the next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess they were the asshole.
All right. So I'm on the husband breakfast one now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Am I the asshole for making my husband breakfast, but not our roommate? So a month ago, my husband and I moved into our current house that we are renting from this guy. He also lives with us in the third bedroom. This was supposed to be a short-term thing, but because of obvious reasons, we don't know how long we're going to be there. Neither of us have had a roommate before, and we were both the first person we lived with other than family. Anyways, this morning I woke up earlier than usual, so I made my husband and I breakfast. I made us eggs with toast. I used a total of 6 eggs and 2 pieces of bread. Our roommate came downstairs just as I was putting it on the table and was about to get my husband and asked why he wasn't getting any. I was kind of surprised because I don't know why he would expect any. But he then got mad and said that he's paying for 1/3 of the groceries, so he should be kept in mind if we're making something. The past month, my husband and I have just been eating small stuff for lunch and dinner. No big cooking of meals or anything. Mostly sandwiches and whatever we can scrounge up, so it just hadn't come up yet. I told him that I didn't make him any, and if he wanted eggs, there are more that he could make some himself. He said he should get some of what I made because he's paying for it, and I should keep him in mind. I told him that what I use isn't more than 2/3 of what he had, so it doesn't matter, and I'm not going to cook a meal for him. I was just doing something nice for my husband. He said he was going to have to rethink our payment agreement and groceries. Holy crap. Neither of us have ever had a roommate before, as I said, so we don't know whether this guy is just strange or if I was really supposed to make him eggs. Am I the asshole?
No.
That was all my wildest expectations met.
So first of all,
that was hilarious. Like, what are you doing? Like, she's literally making a breakfast for her husband. You can't just intrude and be like, "Oh, why don't I get some?" Where
that's
my
so
small
strange.
snafu blown out of proportion to like, oh, now maybe I won't pay for your rent.
Yeah, 100%. This woman is not the asshole.
But that roommate honestly seems like he might have a crush on the wife. I feel like.
He's like, "Where's
Yeah.
my hug at?"
Yeah,
Maybe he's like, maybe I feel kind of betrayed.
Yeah, he's third wheeling his way in there. That's not right.
That's freaky. Ugh.
All right.
Without
I
a
do
doubt.
like the
That's
energy that guy
synonymous.
exudes.
I
don't know.
don't. That's gross.
It's gross, but it's like you gotta kind of commend the amount of like unawareness he has.
No,
Like-
that's something that
No, not at
I
all.
hate that.
Like- It's impressive in a bad way, you know?
Yeah, so it's not good. Why would I like that?
I guess I said that wrong. It's just it's I don't know.
RNG, really not good. All right,
Next
we're gonna move on.
meme.
All right, Ben Shapiro. So this is the next
He got
one.
really into it, by the way. When Ben Shapiro did meme review, he was really excited.
I gotta
What
see
a-
that, man.
What a grubby little ant. I hate that man.
What an elf.
All right, so this one is, am I the asshole for warning my friend about the creep she met on Tinder? This one's not too long. This happened last month, back when in-person classes were being held. My friend, this woman's 20, and her friend, who's also 20, is a frequent Tinder user. She texted me that she met a guy and they were going to BWW to meet. I said cool, and I asked her for his info so I could creep on his social media and see if he's cute. I was shocked to see that it was Boris. Boris and I are in the same major, and we've had several classes together. He's quite frankly a creep and generally gross. First, he has cystic acne and doesn't even try to take care of it. He's also missing 2 teeth in the lower row and has terrible BO. Imagine the smell of old blood and straight up ass. None of these things are apparent on his social media. The worst thing is that he has no boundaries in terms of advertising things he should not He has no boundaries in terms of advertising things that should be private. He has a Pornhub sticker on his laptop. He told his lab partner that she looked like his favorite actress in front of the entire class, and he wrote his end-of-term essay last semester about sex dolls. Overall, Boris just sucks. Anyways, I told her all this, and she accused me of being shallow. I told her to just wait, and after the date, she called me and told me that he'd stunk really bad, and he'd try to guess her cup size within the first 15 minutes. I gloated for a minute, and she still thought I was being too quick to judge, even though I was ultimately right. It's been a sticking point between us ever since. Am I the asshole?
All right, best one so far. Best one so far. She
Max,
could
you
not
picked-
describe Boris as more of a vulgar human being.
Max, you only picked ones where the people aren't assholes.
I literally only read the title for ones that were funny.
He wanted
Yeah.
to get an initial reaction, so he didn't read it.
Yeah, dude, that one was so that the water.
Dude,
Yeah, that-
Boris. Yeah, what a disgusting. You cannot make a
saying-
more disgusting.
Like, saying that someone looks like his favorite actress, which was in quotes, like,
And writing a paper
You know,
about dolls.
I was with Boris until like up to the point where they were
Really?
like, oh, he has a when they were like, oh, he's got a Pornhub sticker. I was like, oh, hell yeah, Boris, just own it, just own it. Don't. But then once it got to the favorite actress part, then I was out. But until that point, I was like kind of on Boris's side a little bit.
I was
See,
against him the whole time. I knew he was gonna be a.
I thought she was being the asshole when she mentioned the cystic acne, because I know there's not a lot you can do about that.
Yeah.
But then like the front teeth, like there's not much you can do about that. But when
You can't do it about the
once
BO.
she went a little further, I was like, no, this dude's gone. Get him out of here.
So I feel like the reason why I thought this guy was an asshole right off the bat is because we all know people like this who don't know
You're-
boundaries
You're right.
Yeah.
and like don't know hygiene. And it's like, come on, man. Overall,
me.
she's not the asshole. She's not shallow.
All right, Dan, hit it. This one looks like it might be a good one, just from the title.
The birthday gift one.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for not wanting the birthday gift my wife bought me? All right, this one's not that long. So the wife bought me a dog for my birthday. It hasn't arrived yet. The seller is driving her down next week when she is old enough to be separated. It's not that I don't love dogs. I do. We have a 12-year-old dog, and she and I got together, and she's my first baby. But we also have 2 children under the age of 5. One is still potty training, and the other is a normal 5-year-old with boundless energy. Imagination and a million questions. We both work full time, pre-evening, pre-everything going on right now. But her job has stupid hours. She's out she's out of the house before 7 a.m. and usually not home until 8 or 9 p.m. So the bulk of the day-to-day family routine falls on me. So every day I get the kids up, dressed, fed, and out the door by 7:30 on our way to school, daycare, work. Do my normal gig, then head off to get back home with them. On the best of days, I get home around 6:15, 6:30 and start the PM routine to cook, feed, bathe, get them in bed, and set ourselves up for the next morning, all in the course of 2 hours. It's hectic, but somehow it works. Most days. So a few months ago, when the subject of getting a puppy came up, there was an opportunity to get the puppy from friends. I was admittedly against the idea. My position was that there just wasn't time in the day and with our lives that I know that responsibility would fall squarely on me. At the moment, I cannot add one more thing to our already tight routine. I also don't think it's fair to a puppy to be alone that long every day. Our dog is older and is content with the peace and quiet because when we're all home, it's anything but. I agreed that when the kiddos were older and could realistically take on that responsibility or get a job situation changed, I would be 100% on board. But as it is right now, I don't want a new dog. So we didn't get the puppy at the time, and I thought that she agreed with me that this was a bad idea. Until last night. My birthday is around the corner, and the wife wanted to give me my gift early. She was excited about it and is the worst at keeping secrets. When I unwrapped the collar withstand picture of the puppy with my enthusiasm did not match hers, so now she's upset. I feel bad because she went through a whole process finding her, getting her approved by the seller, and making all the arrangements, but I don't want it. Not now for all the reasons above. Am I the asshole here?
No, I
And
don't
what
think
if I
so.
refused the dog and had her give the money back?
Still no.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's the asshole here.
No, definitely
I don't
not.
think there are any assholes. I think it's just a disagreement.
No, there is an asshole here. I think the wife is kind of an asshole here.
He did
Uh,
say that he didn't want it. He said that he adamantly did not want a dog and that he was not ready for it.
yeah,
She still went and did it.
yeah, like it's one thing to have a disagreement. It's another to just completely go under your partner.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah, like
also, it seems like
that's kind of underhanded.
if they did get a dog, she wouldn't be taking care of it most of the time. It would be him, which like is
Yeah,
not fair at all.
that's another asshole thing is that she gave it to him for his birthday, but it's more of a gift for her.
Yeah, she gave him a responsibility for his birthday that he did not want. Like, no, I'm not going to call her an asshole, but I don't think she's considerate at all.
I definitely think that he's the one in the right here.
Yeah, agreed.
And also,
Easily.
I don't like it when people bring dogs into environments like where they can't take care of them. That's not right
Yeah.
either.
And they already have like a 15-year-old dog. It's not like, oh, I want to get a dog for our kids. Like they have an old dog
Hmm.
that's on its way
Yeah,
out. Like there's no reason to complicate the situation. I can understand getting one once your dog dies and you start missing it. Like I can understand that, but you
yeah.
don't need it right now.
Let that dog live in peace. Like I doubt that dog wants a puppy running around being annoying during
Yeah.
its full time.
Next meme.
All right. All
Yes,
right.
Papa Shapiro.
So am I the asshole for telling my sister to stop quote unquote acting pregnant? For context, my sister is known to be a huge drama queen. She draws attention to herself for even the most minor things. She's the kind of person to sob over a paper cut. My sister found out she was pregnant 3 weeks ago. She's barely in her first trimester. I'm currently locked in a house with her, and she's being insufferable. She's planning a baby shower already and creating a registry. She's barely vomited, but she's so sick. She doesn't want to get out of bed because of her back hurts. Keep in mind, she has no baby bump, and expects me to be her husband to bring her shit whenever she asks. yet she conveniently can walk when she wants to bake. Whenever we eat dinner, she takes a lot extra because she's eating for two. I feel like she's using her child to make everything about her, and it makes us slaves to her. I have to cater to her because of the baby, or my parents get pissed. Today she made a stupid joke about her pregnancy at breakfast, and I said, "We get it, you're pregnant. You can stop playing into it too much." We got into a huge fight, and now it sucks to be locked in my parents' house with her. I can't take it. It'll drive me crazy if I have to deal with her extra attitude for another 40 weeks. Am I the asshole?
I don't think so.
Yeah, let me take this one. I hate the girl in this scenario.
Mhm.
Like, those people in general bother the shit out of me. The people who like really overreact to every mild inconvenience.
Yeah, it's all theatrics.
And like when like literally the expression like "don't cry over spilled milk," and there are people who I know who will spill milk and like act like their day is ruined.
Mhm.
I hate people like that. So I'm definitely saying the girl is the asshole in this scenario.
Yeah, I think the way that he said it isn't the nicest, but who cares? He's definitely not the asshole. But the way he
Yeah,
expressed it, not the best, but
he
still.
could have handled it better.
Yeah, but he's definitely
he
not
definitely
in the
lost
wrong
his
here.
cool. He lost his cool, but he's still in the right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like he said, like she's talking about it's like it seems like a lot of like placebo almost. Like she's talking about how much her back hurts, but she doesn't have like a baby bump or anything. Like and like she's eating for two and like I don't know. It seems like a lot of like placebo and her just like acting up. So yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think he's the asshole.
I feel like we all know people like that too.
Oh, definitely.
Oh boy, do we.
Yeah.
We kind of had someone like that in our friend group for a while.
Yeah, we
What?
did.
Really?
All
All right,
right,
Dan.
next meme.
Next meme.
Yeah, I don't understand how you phrased that, Max. All right. Am I the asshole for paying a homeless guy to watch my house? Ooh, this sounds like a good one. All
Yeah, it
right.
sounds like it's gonna be a little saucy. I'm ready.
Last year, I inherited a house and some other things from my uncle. He lived down in LA, and
Oh, dude, this one's
since my job
long.
has different departments, I asked for a transfer to LA and moved into his house. The job I have could never buy a house like this, and he specifically asked me in his will to live there a couple of years. I love it here so far.
First off, lucky.
Yeah,
Jesus.
very lucky. Um, Houses in LA are expensive. So to the story. Since this house is relatively nice, it's in a nice neighborhood. The neighborhood is close to a shopping area, so there's some good amount of foot traffic, but nothing crazy. A month ago, I went to throw out the trash and met a homeless guy who was sleeping in the carport. It was raining that particular day, so we talked for a bit, and he said his name was Will, and he was just trying to get back on his feet. So I grabbed him a little food and let him sleep there. He sleeps behind the bins mostly. It's covered from above the street. I don't think much of it. Now, every once in a while I'll catch him sleeping there. He's incredibly respectful, never disturbs me, and never initiates our conversations, but seems to enjoy them. One day as I was heading to the beach, he ran up to me and said someone had been eyeing my house and even tried to open the gate. It's a bit tricky. I asked for a description and I realized it to be my sister who was in town. But it got me thinking, if he is going to be staying in the area, he could keep an eye open around my house. I never lived in a big city like this, so I get paranoid sometimes. So next time I saw him a week ago, I asked if he would be willing to watch the house when he's in the area. I knew he had an old cell phone with him, so I said I'd fill up his minutes and pay him $50 a week just to call the cops if someone was breaking in or shoot me a message if something was happening. Since he has shot me two messages, one saying that there were people at my door and another saying it turned out to be just solicitors. I see him sleep outside maybe 3 nights a week. One day, a neighbor approached me asking if I was going to do anything about the homeless guy who hangs at my house. At first, I was confused. I barely noticed him, and from the street, you can barely see him in his little hideout. When I explained the situation, they got incredibly mad at me. They had apparently spoken to some of the other neighbors about it too. They were waiting for me to do something about him, but didn't want to approach me yet as they didn't know me. They said they were going to do something about it themselves if I didn't, so I told them to piss off. When I shared the story to my friends, they also got mad at me for an entirely different reason. They said I was taking advantage of a homeless person so I could save money on security. I have an alarm system, no camera system though. I just saw it as giving him a place and some pocket money. Am I the asshole? So that was a long one.
Mm.
I'll say
That's
first
tough.
of all, I hate the friends really. Like the friends who
Yeah.
were telling him that. Like I feel like those are just those people who like to get mad at everything.
They're like armchair like activists that would never do anything themselves but get mad at someone else if they don't do anything.
Definitely.
Yeah. So those people right off the bat, I hate.
The neighbors seem like typical stuffy LA people to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I can understand why
Yeah.
they would be annoyed by that, but I don't think he's the asshole because of it.
It's hard to know like how visible or how like around or how scared of the homeless people these. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
I
That-
feel like.
LA, there's a huge homeless problem. There's a lot of
Mhm.
homeless people in LA. So I can imagine them being like a nuisance, like an actual issue.
See, the thing is with like "Am I the asshole?" posts, it's you have really unreliable narrators. Like
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
this,
They'll
like
always
we
frame
don't
it
know how
like
well
where they
hidden
want.
like the hideout is and stuff. I don't think he's the asshole. I don't think he's taking advantage of him really. I think he could pay him more, but still, like I don't know. I don't think
Um,
there's much wrong in this situation.
I'm neutral about this because on one hand, I guess letting him stay at the house, if that's really what he wants to do, I guess that's a good thing to do. But also, like, yeah, I feel like the other neighbors are like, well, now all these homeless people are coming, maybe. It's like, why are we letting this guy stay and others not? Like, I feel like it's setting a bad precedent.
Well,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think that other people are coming, but I can still understand why they would be uncomfortable with that because like
Yeah,
the
I'm just
stigma
saying,
around
like,
homeless
maybe that
people.
would happen.
So
And, like,
like
yeah, they pay a lot of money to live there. Like, I imagine.
yeah,
See,
he's
I
kind of
feel
like an
like
outsider coming in.
the neighbors in this scenario are like I get it. Like there are some times where certain homeless people can look a little intimidating, and it's hard because of the bad ones that you see. It's hard to trust any of them.
Yeah.
But like I just find it I find it impossible to call this guy the asshole. He's being nice and
Definitely not an asshole.
he's
Yeah.
connecting, like he's having a human connection with this guy who's down.
And he's actively helping him improve himself, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
And I just think it's like sometimes it's just neighbors can get really stuffy about like home, and I don't totally agree with that. So I'm definitely on the guy's side over the neighbors.
Yeah,
I
100%.
can
I
see
think
where
I
they're coming from, but I'm on his side as well.
I'm definitely not as fully on his side as I am with some of the other ones, though, because I can definitely see some flaws in his mentality here. But
Yeah.
overall, his heart's in the right place. I think he's doing a good thing.
Yeah, I think he's, like you said, his heart's in the right place. I don't think he's going about it the best way, but I think he's trying to help someone, which deserves some credit, really.
But like
Definitely not an
what's the way he's supposed to go about it? Like it's
I don't
very
know. This
easy
is a
to-
weird situation. It really
I'm
is.
it's very easy to say all the time, like, oh, you should go about it a better way. But like, what is he supposed to do? Like, go around and distribute flyers? Like,
No, that's
letting
fair
people.
criticism. I don't know how we should go about it. I honestly don't.
Yeah. If I were in that situation, there's a good chance I'd be doing that too. Like, I'd be letting this guy live next to my trash bins or
Honestly,
wherever.
this dude's nicer than me. I wouldn't let this happen. Like this dude's
But-
much nicer than I am.
I guess that's because I'm kind of a non-confrontational bitch. So I like, I'll be like, you do you, and as long as we're cool, that's fine, and
I-
nobody can see you.
I don't know. If I ever saw someone like sleeping on my property, I think I'd call the police. Like that's
Depends on the vibe, because like, what if he just looks like a normal dude? Like,
Well, it doesn't matter. It's a human sleeping on my property, like being somewhere they shouldn't be. That's my space. I don't like that.
I guess I would just be more inviting to someone down on their luck. But then
Yeah,
See,
I
again,
would too.
I would feel really bad about it, but I couldn't. I don't think I could like stay with that and be comfortable.
I see where you're coming from.
I
That
would
makes
definitely
sense.
feel bad about it, but it's not something that I could do really.
Hmm.
All right,
All right, we ready for the last one?
say the line.
Yeah.
Last meme.
Ooh, mix up. Oh, this one's short. Okay, like really.
Wow, very
Um,
short. One paragraph.
am I the asshole for asking my parents for a door in my room? Automatically, no. I'm a 60-year-old
Everyone
year-old
needs
boy.
privacy.
Yeah, just before we get into this, parents who remove doors as punishments are like the worst. That is such like a breach of a
Not good
human right.
parenting.
It's
Not good
awful.
parenting.
But anyways, I'm a 60-year-old boy, and for my entire life, I didn't get a door in my room. For a long time, my quote unquote door has just been a curtain, which is fine, I guess. In recent years, I have asked my parents more for a door because it's just getting annoying now. They always say that there's no need for a door, but why is it that every other room has a door but mine? I think that I'm being reasonable enough because I'm a growing boy and I would like some more privacy because the only thing to stopping my family from barging into my room is limited to their own willingness. They would also say that they can't install a door because the doorway wall is angled, which is weird in and of itself, but I don't believe that's a valid reason. Am I the asshole?
No,
Without a
no.
doubt, no. Especially the how he mentions that every single other door, like doorway, has a door on it. There's no reason his shouldn't.
A growing boy needs his privacy.
Yeah, they were gonna walk in on him jerking off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just in general, I
You
don't
got
like
cut
the
off.
invasion. I don't like the invasion of privacy that some parents give to their kids.
They like
No,
insist
like
on
parents that like read through texts and like journals and stuff
Yeah.
it.
make my blood boil. Like I'm so happy I don't live in a household where that's ever happened, and I can't imagine living in one where that has happened. That sounds like I would hate my parents if they did that. That would like cause
Right.
so much distrust in me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I definitely say this kid is in the right here.
100%
He's
without a doubt.
beyond reasonable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and the whole thing where they're saying the angle of the door frame is not good for a door. If it's a door frame, it can hold a door.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
can get a sliding door, you can get like a door that's you can get one of those like folding doors that like folds in on itself. Like there
I was
you can get
thinking one of those
anything.
like bead, like those tassel things from the 80s that hang from the ceiling.
Well, that's what he
Like those,
has. He says he has a curtain.
but like, all right, that's not, the curtain is better than what I thought originally. All right.
You listen,
But
kid?
what are they trying to like? Do they want to walk in on him jerking off? Is that
Yeah,
their
because
goal?
what else can you get from that? Because, like,
Well,
say theoretically he, like, brings a girl home. You can just say, hey, leave the door open so nothing happens. Like,
what,
it's
what I think,
easy.
now there's no proof of this, so this is only a hunch, is that he could be in a super religious family, like to the point where they think that masturbation is a sin, and they want to make
That,
sure they keep an eye on their child. But
okay,
that
still no
probably isn't
excuse.
happening. Yeah.
That's
I feel like
still not
he'd
an
mention
excuse,
it if that was
honestly.
happening.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah. And
Max, you're,
no
like,
excuse.
rubbing up against your mic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is, like, I think the most black and white one for me of just, no, this
Yeah, I
is
am 100% on
100%
your
not
side.
your fault.
Or like the last one, I was maybe like 60-40. This one, I'm 100%.
Yeah, easily.
Well, that was actually a pretty good segment. I think that might have to be recurring.
We should browse some other subreddits maybe.
We should just become a Reddit text-to-speech channel.
Off Reddit by Reddify.
It infuriates me to no end how they mispronounce certain words.
Like coworker, they pronounce as cow worker.
It's unbelievably frustrating.
See, I've
Or
never
when they
actually
say
watched one of those
bisexual,
videos. I've never
they say
watched one of those
bisexual.
videos like all the way through, so I don't know.
Yeah, I usually watch like halfway.
I watched
Well,
one and then my sub box was filled and I had to flag them all. Sorry.
well, that was a good episode. I look forward to doing this again next week.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we'll toss around some more ideas for ways to get creative because obviously we're more of a news-based show and there's not a ton of news happening right now.
Especially not any that we want to talk about really.
And we
Or
don't
even ones that we're qualified to talk about.
and we don't want to
Yeah.
barrage you with politics because a lot of our episodes have a lot of it.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's better to be lighthearted.
And I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I work better with this stuff.
So yeah, well, hopefully we'll have something cooking for next week. So until then, later.
Later.
Adios.
Dan, you want to sing us out?
No, thank you.